it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the
Davis!
Oh my God!
Davis is going to run it all the way back! Auburn's going to win the football game! Auburn's going to win the football game! He ran the missed field goal back! He ran it back!
Field manager. Here they are, one strike away, one out away. 3-2. The Washington Nationals are world champions for the first time in franchise history. All over the place. They're going to open with a trick play. They've got Nixon behind the knee. He's going to go. The game changes in the blink of an eye.
This is deep to center field. Bellinger's back. It's a grand slam. Howie Kendrick.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger? Game! Series! Toronto has won!
29 consecutive conference win. Blocked! Snuffed! Rubbed out! Erased! And Georgia Tech with an opportunity! Austin! Time to be alive!
Eastern time, and that shit tied. A lot of people might not know. In the KBO, after 12 innings, they just call it. They pack up their lockers, they head home for the wife. Unbelievable. Cannot believe that I woke up early, watched it, and ended up going back to bed. I was so pissed. It is what it is, but hey, a push is a win. We're not, we're not complaining about the money. Just brutal to have to end a bet in a tie. I think I'd rather lose.
Yeah, something about a tie. Yeah, we've seen like what happens with fan reaction with ties in NFL. So ties aren't the way for me.
No, they're not. But we carry on, and we start the day 0-1.
Yeah, hey, it is better than 0-1. And no,
it is better.
So
I agree.
Yeah. So let's kind of recap the weekend, early part of the week. Had some college football, of course. I mean, I don't know about you, Krabs, but I woke up early in the morning, literally watched football until about 2 a.m. my time with the Hawaii game ending. And it was great. Sometimes my wife just still doesn't understand how I can watch like over 12 hours of straight football, but
it's just life.
I would have been good for another 12, to be honest.
Sure.
So, and then that's what happens when the NFL starts, and we'll get that on Sunday, where you just take a little nap essentially, and then you wake up and tinker with the lineups, and boom, it's NFL Sunday. But what were just some of your takeaways from Saturday, and what'd you see?
Yeah, I know you had a great week one of college football. I was right there with you. Actually, I had a really good first week, which usually I start off a little slow. Usually I feel like the public kind of grubs early, but I had some success. I went 11-6. Nice. I know you did extremely well as well. I was really happy. And to be honest, I was on vacation before, NFL gets started up here and we really dive in. So I didn't get to watch much, although I was watching some on my phone. And I'll say a couple takeaways. Number one, hilarious to see Brian Kelly eat that L in his first game. I'm not going to say he deserved it or that he's a bad guy or anything like that. But after watching that cringy video of him dancing with that recruit, I think the gambling gods or the college football gods might have said, let's have this guy get a little bit humbled because he's kind of being a freak and faking a Southern accent and a presser.
That was it for me, man. When I saw that, I was like, all right, that was a little weird.
It's just weird as shit. Weird. Like, why are we doing this? So he ate that L in the most ridiculous fashion ever. Maybe the greatest college football game of the season already. Week one.
Insane.
That game was electric. And if you don't like college football, Like, if you watch that game and you don't enjoy yourself, I don't care who you are, you're not a friend of mine. Because that shit was social medias, and he's gone like complete some work to do. Number two, the Pac-12 might be absolutely screwed. I don't know if they're going to be able to have a spot in the playoffs, and we're only through 1 week. Utah lost ranked against an unranked Florida team who looked very good. Let's not kid ourselves. That team looked very good. They lost. I think they probably had the best shot, and then Oregon got absolutely blown out as well. So I don't know.
USC.
I guess USC could run the table. Maybe.
Yeah, it would have to be USC unless somehow Utah runs the
Utah
table.
went undefeated and
something. They would need some help.
Yeah, they would need some help.
If you have a 1-loss SEC team versus a 1-loss Pac-12 team,
you know who they're taking.
Yeah, exactly.
As they should.
So, yeah. And then people will look back and they'll be like, look what happened when the Pac-12 played the SEC. Right? I already can hear literally that's the conversation that's going to happen on Twitter. So, yeah, that not good for the Pac-12, but USC might have to try to hold it down. But we'll see. What about Texas and Alabama? I think that spreads at 2021. Is it pushing 21 now?
Yeah, it's moving and grooving. It's moving and grooving. Ben, I want your opinion on this. Have you seen lines move this much this early? Is this something that maybe I just haven't picked up on because I haven't been around the block as much as you? Or have you noticed lines moving almost immediately as they drop and moving a lot? Maybe it's because there's just more money coming in as sports betting becomes more popular and legal around the U.S. I don't know. I want your take on that.
To be honest, I think it's actually been something I've seen. I think it's just more mainstream and not only just with more people betting, but I think we typically don't see it though with some of the bigger games. Move of over like 4 points just kind of right off the bat. Right. With two premier teams. You typically see that with like a higher total, with like maybe a Sunbelt game or I don't know, some MAC game, and then there's news that comes out that will trigger a line move. But with this, nothing's changed. It's just been the line was set and then the line moved. Something to watch for to see if it becomes like a prevalent trend. But at the end of the day, though, I mean, you want to have the best number, and you don't want to, if you're a Texas fan, like you definitely don't want to be sitting there with the 16.5 when 20.5's on the board, and that's where betstamp comes in, and you can, kind of track things and find the best. But 20 points is a lot of points. But man, Bama. I was on Bama against Utah State. Utah State, literally, we look back in 3 years when all those players are in the NFL, and it's going to even make that much more sense. And we can do that now. If you look back when Jerry Jeudy was playing, and you're like, holy shit, half of this team is first of all, it's like half of the defense is drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
Like you're playing against, and if you're basically playing against like a in between a college and a NFL team. So anyways, 20 points is a lot, but if it gets to 21, I might have to buy it on Texas, to be honest.
I'm torn in that game because it's Bama. I never like taking Bama. I tried to get cute and fade them first half, and I look like an idiot. It is what it is. That's probably just a team that you just shouldn't fade because they're just built different. But then it's also the Texas is back narrative, and they looked great in week 1, and that's going to be blown out of proportion. So part of me wants to fade the Texas talk, but the other part of me wants to fade Bama because they're an absolute wagon. I think I just have to no bet it.
Yeah, honestly. Might be the move there. Bijan Robinson, though, man, dude is good, man. He's a beast. But Alabama's going to be ready for him, right? Like they're going to be like, that's cool, like sweet. At least we can tackle someone. Like the linebackers are probably like, great. Now I can actually tackle someone because in the last game, the D line just would eat up everything. So
Yeah.
hopefully they're not rusty.
Hey, wait till they have to play Tennessee. I think that's the only team that might give them a real struggle this year.
Yep. Until the SEC
Yep.
championship. All right, let's transition a little bit. Let's talk a little baseball. The Braves, man, back
Unbelievable.
in contention for that East tied. I mean, technically, they have the tiebreaker. It looks like 85 and 51, neck and neck with the Mets, and we knew the Braves were not going to go away. They just don't. They're going to be around. They want to win this division. Do you think they do it?
100%. I mean, I'm not going to say I called it, but I literally called it a couple weeks ago on here. Locked it in at plus 300. Shit's already going to pay out. I mean, it should have already paid out. They're winning this division. Plain and simple. The Braves look like the Braves team of last year. And they're doing an absolute replica of last season where they went on to win the World Series. Ben, I was looking at the odds for them to win the World Series this year. They're sitting at plus 850. I might give that a look. Might have to place a measly unit on that. I like what I'm seeing out of this team. I was talking to you earlier about this. They've got Fried, Strider, and Morton. Those are three absolute dogs at the top of their rotation. Kind of drops off from there. They probably would have to go with a three-man rotation and then maybe a bullpen game, but their bullpen's good. And we know the offense is there. So, and we know they've been there before. And they've got Acuna this time around. They might not have Freddie, but they got Acuna. He needs to step it up and play like Acuna, going into the playoffs here. And he has been playing a little bit better of late. So I'm excited to see what they can do. The Mets are starting to Met. The Yankees are melting as well. Life is good. Life is good. I have no complaints. No complaints.
Yeah, I'm excited for postseason baseball, especially with this new added wild card spot. I think it's going to make for some excitement. And man, the East, or sorry, I should say the AL, man. I think that's going to be really interesting down the stretch. I mean, ultimately, I know each week we've talked about this, but who do you think is going to be the teams in on the AL?
I mean, so what did we say last time? We said there was four teams above the rest, and I think it was the Yankees, Houston, and then it was the Mets and the Dodgers. I'm going to say, I mean, the Yankees have clearly fallen off here. I'm going to go Houston, and I'm going to go LA. Probably going to be the World Series. I mean, not a hot take at all. That's probably a pretty square look, but I will say the Braves. The Braves are going to be knocking on those Dodgers' door. But I've just never seen a team. I'm not a guy to take a favorite or take what makes sense, but I've never seen a team this stacked. This is the best roster I've ever seen. I said it before the season. I'm still sticking by it, even without Bueller. I don't give a shit. This Dodgers team is different. They're the best roster I've ever seen assembled in my lifetime following baseball. I don't see how they lose. But then again, it's baseball. And when we hit the postseason, it's a whole new year. These guys start 0-0, and everyone has confidence. Everyone feels like they can win. Everyone feels like they're the best player they are at that point. So they're in the playoffs. They got their team there. It's a whole new ball game. Anything could happen. We saw with the Braves last year. They went on an absolute tear. The hottest team will win. We saw with the Nats in 2019. Who's going to be the hottest team going into the playoffs, a month from now? Right now, it's either the Dodgers or the Braves. They're both red hot. They both cannot lose. And I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be the Padres. That's something that I do know because they stink. They stink.
I think you hit it right on the head, man. It's if you're playing hot, come playoff time, anything can happen. We've seen it so many times. We always bring up the Nats.
10 years back, or
Yeah,
12
the
years
Royals,
back,
man.
whenever. They weren't the best roster. Didn't matter. So maybe it doesn't matter that the Dodgers had the best team. Season restart. Nothing you did in the regular season means shit. I'm so excited. Playoff baseball is absolutely electric. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, I miss it here in Colorado. We haven't had it for a few years. Man, how about Christian Yelich, man? He had a 500-foot home run.
Well, that game absolutely soared over. That's a fact.
It did.
I mean, I thought it was sketch seeing a game with Corbin Burns starting with a total that high. I didn't care if it was in Coors. Kind of knew that shit was soaring over, and it did. But the Rockies went out on top. They pulled it out. Good for them.
Yeah.
for them.
I
Randall
was just
Grichuk.
saying, yeah, I was just saying to Krabs, I was like, the Rockies are one of those teams year after year. They'll be 20 back of 500, but they'll spoil some games. Hop on into some of the categories here. This is insane.
Yeah.
If we could pull this tweet up, Zach, but Krabs, I'll let you take this one since you kind of found it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really know if people are hip. They're something. They are absolutely terrible. Maybe the worst offensive team ever. And there's a crazy team total under trend going on that, smart people are starting to finally talk about and reveal, which kind of tells me that we may be too late to hop on this trend, but it's at least worth talking about and bringing up. From July 30th to August 15th, the Marlins scored 3 or less runs in 16 straight games. That's the third longest streak in the live ball era, whatever that means. And then from August 27th to now, still active, they've scored 2 runs or less in 9 straight, and that's the longest streak since 2003. And like our guy David here said, got to give him credit. Not a fluke. This team is just absolutely terrible, and they can't hit the damn ball. They can't. So this is ridiculous. I mean, I feel like as soon as I hop on the bandwagon and start just blindly tailing it, that's when the Marlins are going to go off. I absolutely have to. I don't have a choice. And they're sitting at under team total under 2.5 right now. Sorry, under 3.5, kind of juiced minus 130. But that gives us plenty of wiggle room. I mean, they got Falter on the bump, who's not great, but he's a lefty. And the Marlins, literally, I've never seen a team worse at hitting left under. Give me the under every which way. I love this play. Zach, we should lock this in, bro.
I'd be fine with it.
You got team total unders on that bitch?
I was looking back on August 30th. David Behrman also tweeted about this, and he was like, another winner. He was like 19-3 at the time. And some other guy, Matt, who's on another podcast, he was talking to just don't really need to adjust it just because I don't think they're seeing any sort of crazy volume on it yet. So, guys who can find these trends early and just take advantage of it. Yeah, just keep playing it, man.
I mean, this tweet has, I saw it came up on my feed because my feed is just pure degeneracy and only gambling shit. This tweet only has 15 likes. I mean, it's not like everyone's seen it.
Yeah.
Shout out our guy David for letting the people know. I'm sure a lot of people know trends like this going on, and they don't say shit. They keep it to themselves. So got to respect our guy Dave here for releasing it. Yeah,
and I think with baseball almost ending and football starting, the books just don't have to do anything really, because they're just not. It's not like they're seeing the volume that NFL is, right? And then they would have to be like, shit, we have to adjust this. They can take that hit.
Yep.
I was talking to a bookmaker,
Finding Edge,
and I asked him about the first half trend. You play the first under first half in that first opening game, and he was like, yeah, I mean they hit pretty well, like where we're at, but he's like, we don't really need to fully adjust the number because it's so small compared to what else they're getting with the parlays and the full game bets. So yeah, that's the beauty with sports betting. You can find, I call them derivative markets, where they're just like team totals, their first halves, that you can just kind of take advantage of and find some holes in, and you can ride it until something changes. So
well, I think I'm just going to start blindly, I'm not going to give it out as like an official play or anything, but I'm just going to start blindly taking it for a unit until it loses. If I lose a unit today, who gives a hoot? Move on, throw the system out, don't think about it again. I think I'm ready to hop on the train and mush this for everybody else. I'm ready.
Yeah, and then we can tweet David and be like, what the heck, man?
Hey, my bad, bro.
Yeah,
I fucked us.
That's
it is what it is.
Yep. All right. Any last words before we kind of hop on into some of the categories here?
Just want to shout out our teams. We rooted for VT and Colorado. Great performances. First week.
Colorado.
Unbelievable. It was hilarious. My mom texted me. She's been pretty into sports. My family's a bunch of Notre Dame fans. My grandfather went there. And then my sister goes to the Naval Academy. So they obviously go to all the tailgates and stuff like that. And their football team used to be good. And people go to those games, but they are terrible now. She texted me. She's like, Navy lost, VT lost, and Notre Dame lost. Could this get any worse? And I was like, well, yeah, it could, because we just lost to ODU. And perfect timing. I just got this fucking helmet in the mail. I'm trying to put in my background. It's a little VT helmet here, signed by Logan Thomas. I might actually have to return it. I might literally send it back because I'm extremely disappointed in what I just saw out of our team. It is what it is. Maybe Brent Pry knows something we don't. Maybe he's taken an L in that first game against a shitty program, and he knows it's only up from there. He's not going to get fired after one game. Maybe he's setting the bar really low, you know? Unbelievable.
Yeah, in Colorado, man, they're sitting as 18-point dogs against Air Force. That's insane to see.
Goodness gracious, man.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Well, brighter days ahead sometime.
CapWize Nick is saying JMU's the best team in Virginia. They've beaten us too before.
Hey, so Nick, you might be onto something. You might be onto something there.
They're good. Yeah. They're good. Yep.
I'm trying to think. We got Virginia Tech,
ODU.
I
mean, that's
JMU.
Yeah. I mean, William & Mary's really good, but they're FCS, I think. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, Ben, VT is still the best team. We literally played the worst game of football I've ever seen in my entire life. We had 16 penalties. We had 4 turnovers, and we still almost won. And we had a field goal that got snapped back to the 50-yard line. It was returned for a touchdown for ODU, and we still almost won. So I think we're still the best team. UVA doesn't scare me at all. They're the softest university and football team on earth. And I mean, we beat ODU 6 or 7 times out of 10. Is that team really good and seasoned and do they know what they're doing? Yeah, but we beat them more times than we lose. It is what it is. You know what we did with that? We charge it to the game and we move on.
100%.
It is what it is.
Charge to the game. All right, let's hop on over to tweets that trigger us.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
I've never seen you mad.
I get peeved.
Why are you in such a bad mood?
What do you care?
It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
All right, Krabs, I'll let you start this one off because, of course, it's your boy, Soto.
Yeah. Zach, you can pull up the tweet. Soto had an interesting comment yesterday. He said, they're talking about why, the Padres fans are booing him. And this is definitely the first time he's ever been booed in his entire life. We would never do such a thing in DC. Let's get that straight. We would never. We cheered him on his first game back. I thought we were going to boo him. We cheered because we're good people. Juan Soto understands the boos from the Padres fans. And this is a quote that he said. And I know there's a little bit of a language barrier, but to be honest with you, Ben, he speaks very, very, very good English. So I'm not really giving him a pass on this. This is what he said. The challenge is just going from a team that doesn't care about anything because they know they don't go anywhere to a team that has a really good chance to win. And this rubbed me the wrong way. This is a tweet that triggered me for a couple reasons. Number one, Juan Soto's effort level in DC this season was atrocious. He was the worst rated right fielder in baseball. He didn't try, he didn't dive, he didn't sprint, he didn't give any effort. He was the worst base runner I've ever seen in my entire life. Him and Josh Bell looked like they're running the base pass with their eyes closed with blindfolds on. Zero effort from him, only anger, no happiness. And he's the leader of that team, whether he likes it or not. I don't care how bad they are. And that rubs off on the rest of the guys. Don't care how old he is. Juan Soto, wherever he goes, the rest of his career will be the leader of the team because he's that good. And you lead by your play on the field. And I don't think he led by a great example in DC this season. He was not the happy-go-lucky, smiley Soto dancing around the box doing the shuffle. He was mopey Soto who didn't put any effort in on defense and honestly did not have a great season for us before he got moved. And I get it. He was thinking about a lot of stuff. He was more worried about where he's going to get traded to because we pretty much told him a couple months in, hey, buddy, you're probably getting moved. So he knew. So I get it. But that doesn't mean you can go out there and not give a shit or try or dive for baseballs. He was the worst outfielder rating-wise in all of baseball on the Nats. And then he's saying this. Soto, check your stats since you've come over to San Diego. You're not doing shit. And neither is anyone else who's gotten moved to that team. Drury's not doing shit. Josh Bell's not doing shit. These guys are literally hitting below 200 since coming over there. Juan Soto last night, I watched the game. I was actually on the Padres, and shout out the Padres for getting lucky and pulling out a win. Thank you. But it had nothing to do with Soto, who actually struck out in that last inning, and he was not involved at all. And Soto doesn't strike out, Ben. That's the one thing he doesn't do.
Yep.
He puts the ball in play, he battles. And I've seen him strike out and have worse at bats over the last 2 weeks in San Diego than I have in 2+ years on the Nationals. Something's up with that team. Something's up with him. And it's not working. And Juan, you can't just blame it on you coming over from a shitty team, and that's why you're not playing well. That's a cop-out. I don't like that. You have the wrong people in your corner feeding you stuff like this, pinning the blame on everyone else, on the situation, instead of you going up there with your bat and being the best baseball player in the world like you are. Juan, take it on the chin next time. Say you're playing like shit, and say you're still getting acclimated and that you need to step it up, and don't blame it on your shitty Nats team that took care of you and loved you while you were here. This is a bogus tweet, and it pissed me off. Be better, Soda. Plain and simple. This is the only thing he's ever done or said that pissed me off, and I had to get it out. Beat.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think that's a good word to describe the situation. And look, the Padres, they're in contention for a wild card, and this is like the worst time, in my opinion, to have this type of antics and drama just kind of arise, right? Like you're trying to make the playoffs. It almost feels like, in my opinion, and I don't want to speak for any sort of Padre fan or whatever, like we'll have to ask Gilberto about this, but it almost feels like this season's kind of a loss in a way, just because you can make the playoffs, but do they really think they have a shot to win the World Series with Tatis being out? I don't know. I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak for Padres fans, but it just I'm getting that sentiment.
Ha-Sung Kim has been doing plenty. He hit a home run last night. I think it'd be worse. They've been winning a lot of games before Soto and all these guys came over and they assembled this super team. They won plenty of games without Tatis. And now, since all these new guys have come over, they're playing so tight and so bad. And for me, it's hilarious to watch. And the Nats on the other side are playing very good baseball. They're having fun. They're young. They're hitting. They're 11-11 in the last 22 games, which with that roster is impressive because their roster sucks. It's crazy how mental baseball really is, and stuff like this proves it. I mean, Soto and Bell are really pressing. Josh Hader, he's not a great manager. I mean, what do you say to Wansa? Like, he's one of the best hitters maybe ever. He's one of the best players in the game. What do you like? You got to sit him down and say, hey, you need to be better. Like, how is he going to take that when he's saying quotes like this? I don't think he's going to take it well.
Saying, hey, maybe this isn't our year. I mean, you could look at last year when Acuna got hurt, right, for the Braves. I'm sure there are some people saying the same thing, and look what happened. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't count them out yet. But
pieces. They have plenty of pieces. I mean, we were saying that they were literally a super team, and we were acting like they were going to be better than the Dodgers, and like they already had a path to the World Series. You can't tell they're still stacked, and they still suck. If it wasn't for the Brewers also being terrible, they'd actually be in real trouble. But I'm pretty sure there's still a couple games up. I'm looking right now. There's still
3.5 up. Yeah.
3 up on the Brewers. So they're still luckily there in the playoffs. But hilarious how they've been performing, and hilarious that they're saying quotes like this. You're blaming your bad play on your old shitty team you're coming over from. What kind of quote is that?
Yeah. Grow up.
Whack. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up.
Definitely. Yeah, they're the standings right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's the Yankees? I don't have my binoculars on. What's the Yankees Rays difference right there? Is it 4?
The Yankees are up. Zach, what is it? They're up.
Hold on. 1.5 games.
4.5. They're up 4.5 on Tampa Bay. Yep. Would love to see that get a little closer. Love
Could
to
we
see
talk
that get a
about
little
Kyle
closer.
Bradish for a second? God,
Sure.
he's been incredible.
Yeah, he got kind of rocked last night, though.
Yeah,
First
got
bad
the.
start in a while.
Why did they take him out early? He only was at 66 pitches.
I mean, he was not pitching well. They took him out with first and third, no outs.
They see something going on because, I mean, he's at 66 and he's been going way deeper than that, and he only had 3 earned at the time.
Then he looked bad. He looked like early season Bradish. So
was his command off a little bit?
He was walking people. He was hitting people. He wasn't pitching well. I mean, Zach
still got the win though.
Too. Well, because fucking White and Kikuchi pitched for. I mean, it was Zach. Did you watch that game last night? The Toronto game?
Yeah. So I turned it on when the Jays were up 3-1. I think 3-1, and then it was like White gave up a run, and there was 3-2, and then there was 2 on, and then I'm sitting there going 1 on third, and then this is when I knew it was over. They cut to the bullpen, and Kikuchi's getting up.
In must-win games. I put that on the manager, honestly. I don't even put that on Kikuchi. He sucks. What's he going to do about it? He's still going to go out there and try to pitch. Yeah. He's terrible.
You want to know a fun stat about Bradish?
Sure.
He's the first ever pitcher for his first MLB debut to strike out the first batter, and then the second play was a double play.
What?
Because it was one, where exactly he struck the guy out, and then he advanced to first because it was a wild pitch or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the next play was a double play.
Okay. That's some Orioles. That's some Orioles bullshit. Is what that is.
I googled or I just put Bradish stats into Twitter, and it pulled it back up from April 30th. But before this game last night, he was at 7 games started and only 12 earned since the All-Star break, which was
he's been unhittable.
Insane. Yeah,
unhittable. But last night he looked bad. I mean, Zach, that game was so frustrating, dude. It was like the Orioles would score a run, and then the Blue Jays would score a run and be down 1. Blue Jays last night, I don't know why. They're poverty. Cover your ears, but they're terrible. What a joke of a team.
Yeah.
What a joke of a team.
I can't even dispute.
Let's talk a little bit about another tweet. Actually 2 tweets, one subject. The Eagles. The Eagles are now the favorite to win the NFC East.
I've heard a single positive comment about the Cowboys or the Commanders. I mean, or the Giants either, but deservingly so. They're dog shit. I haven't heard a single positive comment about the Cowboys, which is my main point here, or the Commies, for literally weeks. The Commies were getting hyped up a little bit when they signed Wentz and with that defense, but everyone's been saying how terrible they are over the past, month or so. And for good reason. They've looked like shit in the preseason. Our young running back got shot in the leg, and he's probably going to be out for the first month. So that's an issue. Cam Curl just had surgery. He had sneak surgery on his thumb. Nobody knew about it until afterwards. Who the fuck has sneak surgery? And that would only happen on the fucking Commanders. He was standing on the sidelines in a sling, and all the fucking beat reporters were like, what the fuck happened, dude? He's like, yeah, I had surgery. Everyone's like, what? So he's going to be probably out for a little bit, which is really bad because our secondary is so thin, whatever, yada, yada, yada. The Eagles here, do they deserve to probably be the favorites at this point in the season? Probably. But I'm not high on them one bit. They have so many new pieces. We need to see how they play. And we need to see if Jalen Hurts, and I hate to sound like a boomer, we need to see if he's going to be able to throw the football. I know he's got a brand new target there in A.J. Brown, and he should be pretty good. And Devonta Smith is incredible. Goddard's pretty damn good. But that O-line, they're not insanely good. Jalen Hurts last year won a lot of games with his legs. I had him in fantasy. Great fantasy quarterback.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the kind of quarterback I want, getting the ball down 3 with 2 minutes left in a game, having to drive the field. Plain and simple. If they're not winning games, if they're not leading games, that's not the kind of team I want to have the ball making a comeback at the end, because Jalen Hurts hasn't proven to me that he's the kind of guy that can run a 2-minute drill. I think this is an overreaction a little bit, and I hate to say it because I'm not high on the Cowboys either. I think the whole NFC East is a little bit of a shit show right now. I still think the Cowboys should probably be the favorite. And it's concerning to me that I'm not hearing any good Cowboys talk for the first time in maybe a decade.
It is weird.
That kind of scares me. Usually they're getting slumped. Now they're getting roasted. Everyone's hopping on the roast the Cowboys bandwagon. Maybe this is the year they do stuff. Kind of sketches me out.
So here's my take, and then Zach, you can put up the second tweet, unless you already did. Sorry if I missed it. The Cowboys are in that weird position because typically, like you said, it's always Cowboys talk, right? But I almost feel like the public is starting to see that facade, and they're just like, no, I'm not going to be fooled again by the Cowboys, right? And then people start betting the Eagles. I mean, look at that BetMGM Eagles, and then also I don't know if these are ranked 1, 2, 3, but regardless, Eagles plus 150 to win the East. So the way I look at this division, I think the Giants have like a 1% shot of winning it. So we can throw them out of the equation. I am a little bit higher on the Commanders than most people, not you, but I'm kind of with you. I mean, they have some talent, man. If you look at their roster, they have guys that are talented. We got to figure out when Chase Young's coming back. I saw something in our Discord yesterday about
it's not good.
It might not be good, but they're kind of like that wild card. But I think ultimately, in my opinion, it's going to come down to the Eagles Cowboys. I mean, it's not really that hot of a take, but I'm kind of high on the Eagles. I hate to say it, but I just don't know if that's a good bet at plus 150. I actually recommended the Eagles to win the NFC at 12-1 because, in my opinion, this reminds me a little bit of the Bengals last year, right? You get hot, you can make a run, get AFC. We were just talking about this on another show, Krabs, you and I. The NFC is kind of open, right? I'll get hot. And, you know, if Tom Brady and the Bucs don't pan out this year, I mean, at some point, I hate to say it for you Brady fans, like he's not going to play forever. It could be this year where you see that quick regression just happen so quick.
Dude,
so maybe
if I was him, if I was Tom Brady, I'd be like, shit, like, should I have come back to this right now? My O-line is
camp, and he came out and said, hey, man, I'm going through life and stuff. So, of course, I'm not going to clown him because we don't know what's going on. But it is a little weird, right? The retirement wasn't there for off season. I'm not saying Brady isn't going to be fired up to play, but I would be a little suspect of people betting like over 11.5 on the Bucs or the Bucs to win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, there's rumors going around that maybe he's getting a divorce, and that's what he's been dealing with. I think that's a stretch, but that presser he had where he was pretty much like, fuck off, I'm Tom Brady and I'm old and I'm dealing with family stuff. I thought it was weird. I thought he has every right to say something like that. 100%. If anyone does, he does. I'm not saying he shouldn't have said that or whatever, but I'm with you, Ben. I just thought it was a weird comment.
So
he was pretty much like, yeah, you guys are right. Something's going on. I'm not telling you what it is. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I was also going to see if Zach could find like the rumor about the Masked Singer.
Yeah, I'll try to find
Singer. That was funny
ridiculous,
because
bro.
That was one of the yeah, you can go down a rabbit hole real quick with some of this stuff, but yeah.
I was going to ask you guys about that though. Do you not think that this is the type of thing that like would fire up Tom Brady more though? Like this is one of those things where I feel like you see this article headline come out and it's like Tom Brady could be headed for divorce. And it's like, well, this guy's going to have all the time in the world to focus on football now.
Or Tom Brady's hearing me say like, hey, this could be the year he regresses. Yeah, it's not looking good. Krabs says, oh, his O-line's washed up.
Next thing you know, in the chat, he's like, I took that personally. Like the Michael Jordan meme.
Yeah. Next thing you know, Krabs, he's passing for 400 yards week 1.
He's the GOAT. So if anyone can prove anyone wrong, it's that fucker. And yeah, if he's getting a divorce, that might kick him in the butt and turn on another gear of fucking demon. He might go demon mode.
Yeah,
which is scary. O-line or not, you might see Tom Brady start running the ball. You might see him just run and read options. He might turn into Josh Allen. Who knows?
Krabs, there's a Prize Pick square that I think has Tom Brady over under 3.5 rushing yards throughout the season.
The whole season.
Yeah, because you have to factor in the kneel downs, right?
Yeah.
But I looked at that and I was like,
who's crunching those numbers?
Yeah, and then also I think it's over under like 0.5 touchdown runs or something. Maybe it's 1.5. Yeah, those are always the weird ones, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm gonna win it, and then there's 3 kneel downs like the end of the season, and you lose the bet. Like, yeah. So, anyways,
Sick Money in chat made a good point. There's also plastic surgery rumors, and I will say he was looking sharp in that interview. His hair was looking good.
Pretty.
His face was looking chiseled. There were some pictures going around on social medias of his face before and after. I mean, we've seen the pictures of him when he got drafted. He's definitely had work done at some point. And what to each his own, whatever. I'm not going to sit up here and roast the guy. Whatever the fuck he wants to do, he can do. He's the guy. But that could have been it too. Maybe that was his comment. I'm old. I'm dealing with shit. I'm losing some confidence. I'm starting to look old. I had to go away and get some surgery real quick and come back. So I'm looking sharp, look good, feel good, play good. That could have been it. Who knows? Something's going on. But if it's a divorce thing, Zach, good point, man. I don't want to bet against that guy. He's got to be a freak.
That's like the one dude you don't want to. I feel like it doesn't correlate the other way in terms of like, oh, he's getting a divorce, he's gonna have a worse season. Like, I just think that doesn't apply to him. It's either gonna be neutral or it's gonna be like better, more motivated.
Agreed.
In my opinion.
Couldn't agree more.
Did you two watch the miniseries "Man in the Arena" with him?
Unbelievable show.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Jack, did you check that out?
I have not yet.
Dude, you gotta watch that.
Worth a watch.
It's one of those where you could just kind of throw on while you're working, Actually, you might get a little sidetracked because it definitely fires you up. Like,
it's good.
I mean, I've never been like the biggest at him because I know how hard the quarterback position over the years. I mean, to be at that level of greatness and be in contention every year, essentially. I mean, look, he joined it's pretty good. Like, it definitely gets you fired up. There's a few quotes in there where like I might actually rewatch it, just get pumped up. So definitely need to.
Nick says, which will be higher at the conclusion of the Bucs season? Tom Brady rushing touchdowns or Tom Brady wives?
Nick always has the best comments, bro. Scrunchman said, if she leaves him, is Gronk moving in?
Ooh. Hey, here's another rumor, Zach. You could probably find tweets on this. I guess they interviewed Gronk, and Gronk made a comment about like, I wouldn't be surprised if I play with Tom again or something, but it's also Gronk, so he could have been drunk. I also think he's had multiple concussions, and he's just a wild dude. So who knows?
He's come out of retirement. Would you be shocked if, come week 12, Gronk joins the team and starts practicing, and then, come the last 2 weeks of the season or playoffs, he starts playing? I wouldn't be shocked.
Not at all. Bucks. I gotta look up their like, oh fuck it. Like, Gronk's gonna be bored. Because here's the thing. I almost feel like at a certain point in these guys' career, they just want to dodge camp. Like,
literally.
Because camp sucks. Like,
yeah.
People, I mean, once you get to the position where you've proven yourself, you around it. That would be hilarious if he just comes out and says, hey, I think I have like one more year or one more half season left in me. And who is it with the quote about
the Finsider here? It just says like, Cowboys bring in Jason Peters, and then underneath, Bucks Nation, don't rule out a Rob Gronkowski return. 4 hours ago.
Wow.
Also, shout out the Cowboys for bringing back Jason Peters from the fucking retirement home.
Oh, here.
Literally. Oh, Nelly. They're already talking about it.
His agent.
If the agent
well,
is saying
his agent wants him to play. Are you kidding me? Yeah. He obviously wants him to play.
But I guarantee you, like, I could see Gronk just partying all summer, and then he's like, August rolls around, he's like, I still want to fucking party, right? And
all it would take is one call from Tom, and he's there.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden he's watching Monday Night Football and he's like, oh shit, man, I kind of miss it a little bit.
You're telling me that there's no reason that Gronk hasn't been signed to some sort of, broadcast. You're telling me they can't give that guy a mic and have him be entertaining, have him be on a pregame show. The fact that he's not, after what we've seen, players sign these deals and then maybe come back for another season. Maybe these broadcasting companies know more than we do, and they think that we're not going to fucking waste our time signing him because he's going to go back and play anyways. Like, how is that guy not signed to be on a pregame show? You kidding me?
Yeah.
He's one of the most entertaining fucking football players in the world. He's hilarious.
You'd probably have to be on like a non-censored version though.
Get like a Twitch stream and be able
Pat
to say whatever the hell he wants.
Pat McAfee just got signed to College Game Day. He's about to be on game day with no sleeves. And that guy curses like a sailor. So I think the world's changing a little bit for the better. I mean, he's not going to go up there and drop 100 F-bombs on TV. But, we're not getting these, old 70-year-old dudes in suits with their hair combed over.
Did you see, though? He does, but did you see the last College Game Day? Like,
it's bad.
I wonder if they're not going to come out and say replacing, because I think that's just kind of disrespectful to the situation. But I think they're kind of pushing Corso out. But man, Corso has given us some amazing one-liners. That's for sure.
Remember the little kid? The little kid was talking and he was like, not so fast, Midgie, or something like that. I was like, oh my God.
We have that as a clip in our college football segments.
Unbelievable.
Where we clip that. So anyways, so Zach, before that we hop on over to Bear vs. Bull, I think it's about noon. Are we cool for you to kind of announce what's been kind of in the works the last, several months with what you guys have been doing on the back end and kind of what's coming for football season and the rest of the sports season?
Yeah, so for anyone who might have noticed today, the YouTube, it was set up as a brand new Charge It to the Game YouTube. So there's been a little bit of branching out, and obviously, like, we've added this show and we started working on some other things, trying to get creators in the betting space and people. We now built out the Hammer Betting Network. So if you guys see on Twitter today, you'll see Krabs and Ben will have tweeted out, and you'll see different posts from different accounts tweeting that they've joined the Hammer Betting Network. And essentially, it's going to be just a group of people, a large group of people and creators coming together to create all different types of content, whether it be sharp, square, pregame lead-ins, halftime shows, all that kind of stuff. And it will live all on the hammer.bet website, as well as across our numerous YouTube pages. So if you head over to the hammer.bet, you can check it out there. You can see all 26 shows right now, and that's NFL and college football, essentially, that we've built out there. Charge It to the Game will be adding another show come Fridays with Ben and Nick. And then Ben will also be doing a Broncos tailgate video that'll come out shortly after he goes to those games, and that'll be filmed. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we've been working on. But, I mean, at 12 Eastern time, it became official now that this is part of the Hammer Betting Network. So you guys can head over to the hammer.bet. But we've got some really, really cool creators a part of this. It's all different kinds of people from any market, really. So just trying to cover that. And I mean, I guess, like, at the end of the day, the biggest thing that we've tried to preach, no matter what, and this is a separate thing from betstamp, I want to make that clear as well. This is a separate thing. And we'll have betstamp tie-ins, but everyone that is on the network, we feel, are people that are transparent and honest in their betting. And it's people that, no matter what kind of advice or info or things that they're talking about, they are honest and true to what they're doing. And so we feel like we've put together a huge, really cool group of people to be creating on this network. So there's a lot more cool things coming. There will be more announcements about shows and that kind of stuff, and there will be cross promotion across the different shows, the different channels, all that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So if you're watching right now, you'll also notice top of the screen here, threw up a little Hammer Time logo.
Nice, nice. And I'll say this too. Yeah, some of the names you guys got incredible. Like I've been following a lot of these guys since, pre US legalization, like Brad Powers, the Hitman. Like these dudes are fucking so sharp. Like the Hitman, he would come on the show I listened to, this podcast, and would just give like his best bet for NFL, and just literally, you talk about a sell job, it would be 60 seconds, and you're just like, oh my god. And he was on fire with those throughout the years. Brad Powers kills it with college football. Fabian for NFL, dude is insane. I mean, there's so many good names, so this is going to be fun, and I'm just, Krabs and I are happy to be a part of the list of everyone in the community there.
Hell yeah, the hammer.
Yeah,
I fucking love it.
Hashtag hammer time.
Hammer time.
Yeah,
love it. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's what the announcement was, and there's going to be a lot more stuff coming from Charge It to the Game as well. Like I mentioned, another show being added on, and then you can go to our shows page on there, see Charge It to the Game listed. You'll be able to access all the shows that we have. You go to the site, you'll see us live at the very top of the site. You can see all the recent episodes, and then when we start having people going across to different shows and stuff, you'll be able to find what shows Krabs goes on, what shows Ben goes on. Like it'll be all listed in the site there, so it'll be easy to track, easy to use, and you can follow along there. And then to that point, Ben's talking about guys giving out picks and stuff. We're gonna have live release shows and things where guys go on and hand out picks for college football or Sunday night football, stuff like that. So it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be crazy. Great timing with NFL about to kick off tomorrow. So, and Zach, we really appreciate all the work too. I mean, these graphics, and I know you've been working some crazy hours, man, to get this underway with our visuals, all the other visuals. So props to you too, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a battle, but it's all worth it. It's cool to see it live now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, think about 2 years ago where we were with COVID, right? Like we would be dying for these days. So that always helps put it in perspective too a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we might need to get a crab cam going for the Commanders games, because I'm about to be out there being a freak at the tailgates in that parking lot at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. We might need to work on that. Get a little GoPro.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I agree.
Yeah, especially if the Commanders end up having like a not so great season, we need something to come out of that.
You want to see some interesting people? You head over to Landover, Maryland for week 1 of the Commanders game, and you're going to see some freaks. You're going to see some freaks. I'm going to be one of them. 100%.
That's great. Yeah, I've never been to that stadium.
Never go.
Definitely.
Never go.
Yeah. All right, let's I know we got about 30 minutes, so we got some more NFL to talk, so let's transition to bearish versus bullish.
I shall return to hello, balloon. We have a very important thing to do today.
All right, we got some NFL teams to discuss. We can kind of go rapid fire on these if you want.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so let's talk about 6 teams, and these are teams that for the most part we haven't discussed that much. So let's just start with the Rams or whatever.
Sure.
Super Bowl champ, bearish or bullish? How do you feel about the Rams?
I think the Rams are going to be incredible. I've been a Matt Stafford guy for years. I thought what he was doing in Detroit with that team was incredible. I love McVay. I think
it's 10.5, 11 maybe.
Okay. Well, I think they win week 1 against the Bills. So I think that's a win that's not really accounted for in this total. I can definitely get behind that. I'll probably take, and it is 10.5. And I don't love they steal one against the Bills week 1, which should help and put them in a really good place. I like their over. Give me their over win total. I'm high on the Rams again this year.
Yeah, I'm bullish on the Rams. Look, Cooper Kupp, that wasn't a fluke. I think he could go under his receiving yards just because of Allen Robinson. But Allen Robinson is a guy who, I mean, you look who's been throwing him the football. Like, he's going to have a breath of fresh air with a guy like Stafford. So I think he's going to have a good season. If Akers can stay healthy, I mean, they have Donald, I mean, he is a fucking monster, dude. I wouldn't pay $1,000 to let him hit me because my medical bills would be surpassing that. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll leave it there with the Rams. Any last words on the Rams?
No, they're really good.
Yeah, they're gonna be good. So I'm high on them. Let's talk about the Titans. This is one where you ask a lot of people, a lot of good minds, and they're kind of 50-50 on, at least from the responses that I've been getting. How do you feel about the Titans?
I am
9
bearish.
wins. 9 wins.
I'm bearish. I like the under. I'm not high on this team. I think that they've peaked. Can Derrick Henry get any better? I don't know. And he's also coming off an injury, which sketches me out. Although that guy is a robot. I don't love Tennessee's defense, and I don't love their coaching, to be honest with you. And I don't love Tannehill. I don't really love anything about this team. I think they overperformed last year, and I think they kind of come back down to earth this season. Will Derrick Henry win them a couple games? Probably himself. Yeah, for sure. But I want their under, and I think it's a little bit of an overreaction with how good they were over the last couple of years with Derrick Henry. They're one injury away from being an under 500 team, in my opinion. So I'm bearish.
Oh man, I'm bearish too. So Nick and I over here at CapWize, we kind of discussed this one, and we basically said like the upside of them getting 10 versus the upside of them getting 8. I guess you call it downside. I just think there's more. There's a higher chance that they're going to end up with 8 than 10, in my opinion. They hit 10 wins. That sketches me out. So I have to say I'm bearish on the Titans. Zach, you can chime in too. How do you feel about the Rams and Titans?
Yeah, I feel good about the Rams. I'm bullish on the Rams. I don't think anything really, I mean, other than Stafford's elbow, but like, I still think that that's one of those things where just the rest of the team is good enough where, no, they're not going to win like a super. The Titans, I'll be honest. I mean, and I said it before, but my dad is a Dolphins fan, so we watched a lot of Ryan Tannehill. I just don't think he's like the guy to take you over the edge. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You can make a lot of money in the NFL doing so, but if you're a team that's trying to win, for me.
I'm seeing them at 9.5, which means if they get 9 wins, that's going under.
Yeah.
I love that play. I'm probably gonna lock that in myself. Honestly, that under win total.
Yeah, it just seems like 10 isn't. Yeah. Interesting.
Too many wins.
Actually, we're gonna talk about one of the teams coming up here in a sec. So let's pass that one. We've already talked about the Eagles a little bit. I think you kind of know where Krabs and I are on that one. Let's talk about the Raiders, though. This is a really interesting team. Bearish or bullish on the Raiders in the AFC West, maybe the toughest division we've seen headed into the season in a while.
Yeah, they have the 3rd hardest strength of schedule this season. I think they're toast. I am okay with Derek Carr. I like that they added Adams. I think that's huge. I like their offensive weapons, receivers and tight ends, Waller. Renfro, I think, is still extremely underrated. And I think he's going to benefit greatly from Devontae Adams coming over because he'll be taking the CB1s and getting double covered all the time. I think Renfro's going to have a hell of a year. I don't love Josh Jacobs. I don't love their O-line. I don't love their D-line. Their D-line's okay with Crosby. Crosby's a machine, one of the best players in football. But besides him, Ben, their defense is atrocious, and they're going to have to win by shootout every game. And that's not a position I want to be in, especially with Derek Carr, who has the most losses in a starter in his first couple years without losing his job in NFL history. So I think this is kind of his last chance here. If he doesn't take this team to the playoffs, he's going to go down as one of the most average quarterbacks ever. And I think he'll be fine this year. I think he'll have a good year, but I am bearish on this team. I think they go under their win total. I think their schedule is too tough. I don't think they get 9 wins, and their win total sitting at 8.5. Give me the under.
I'm actually gonna be against you on this one. I'm a little higher on the Raiders.
Okay.
And it's not all Devontae Adams. I think that's a benefit, but man, I think with Adams, Renfro, and Waller, if we can get a healthy Darren Waller, I just like that three-headed monster. Coaching is going to be huge, of course. I mean, do they make the playoffs? I think for this to be a bullish, yeah, they probably have to, right? Like, I can't say I'm bullish on them and then they miss the playoffs and I'm like, yeah, they exceeded expectations. It hurts me to say that because the AFC West is so loaded. Like, you saw the other day when someone asked me a question on my standings in the AFC West or my prediction, like my head was about to explode. Like,
Yeah.
we'll have to see there about the Raiders, but yeah, well, that whole AFC West, man.
I mean, if they go over, if you're bullish on them and they go over 8.5 wins, they get 9 wins, they go 9-8. I don't know if that even gets them in the playoffs, honestly.
Probably not. It's gonna be tight. 9-8. I mean, yeah, it's not 9-7, it's 9-8 now. So yeah, we'll see. And then the last team, the Browns. They get Deshaun Watson back week 13. That defense and run game, can that get them like in a playoff position at least when Watson comes back? I don't know. What do you think?
So tell me this team is as good as the Cardinals. I'm using my, bet the line's not the team narrative here. And I like the over on the Browns. I'm high on them. I think when Watson comes back, they're going to be extremely good offensively, having him. And then with that backfield and that O-line, I mean, goodness, they're going to be able to move the rock. And that defense, I'm extremely high on this team. I think they can stay afloat. Do I love that they have Jacoby Brissett running the helm for the first, 12 games? Is it 12 games?
Yeah, it's 11 and then the bye, I believe, right?
Okay.
Zach, can you check on that for us?
So he's missing the first 11 or 12 games. I mean, God, that's terrible. But if they could just hand the ball off to Chubb and Hunt behind that O-line, they're going to win some games. Their strength is schedule. They have the 8th easiest schedule in the NFL. I think they can pull off some wins if they can just stay afloat early. I think they have a chance. I'm lower on the Bengals this year. I don't think they got better. I know you're not honest, although they're divisional games. So these games are always close. I'm high on them. I think that's a sketchy high line. I would have expected that to be at 7 or 7.5, to be honest with you. And the fact that it's at 8.5, I think is extremely telling. Give me the over. I am bullish on them.
I'm bullish on the Browns too. I think Brissett is kind of your quintessential guy who's not going to win you a lot of games, but he's also not going to lose you a lot of games. And the way that this team is constructed, they can win games on the ground. So I think that the Browns will be in a position to be in the playoff hunt when Watson comes back. So I'm going to say that I'm bullish on the Browns.
Let's go.
Definitely. So let's transition. I know we got about 15 minutes here. Let's hop on over to hot takes.
Man's not hot.
If the Houston Texans pass on Johnny Manziel, they will forever regret it.
I want Iguodala.
This is a story that I just don't buy. Durant to the Warriors.
There's no way we trade our most valuable asset mid-season with new ownership coming in. People are saying, I'm seeing graphics of him in a Padres uniform. I'm like, give me a freaking break. He's not going to the freaking Padres.
So just quick update on Watson and the Browns as well. 11-game suspension. He's eligible, as it's been discussed, to come back for week 13 against the Houston Texans. That will be his first game back that he was allowed to come back for. And their bye week is week 9.
Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. Okay, cool. All right, so hopping into a little hot take. This is going to be NFL related. I'll start off with mine. We'll see. Chat, you guys have to let us know how hot you think this one is. But mine is going to be that this is pretty incredible under Mike Tomlin. But I think this is the year it comes to an end. A few reasons why. I think number one, Big Ben. I know people feel a certain way about Big Ben, and I also understand that last season it wasn't pretty. I mean, he had one of the worst, if you want to call it worst, but lowest like yards per catch or yards per completion in NFL history because he wasn't even moving. Just a lot of dink and dunk. But I will say, though, that like having him in the locker room, I just don't know how much of a jump that actually is. And I also think that the Steelers are getting a little overhyped with some of the guys offensively. They're going to run the ball a lot. And I think teams are just going to key in on that, and they're going to make Mitch Trubisky beat them. This roster, or this schedule, excuse me, it's not easy. They got the Bengals, they got the Patriots. But yeah, this is the year it comes to an end. And the Bucks, the Bills, like they have
the fourth hardest strength of schedule in the NFL this season.
They got some tough games, man. People want to ride that streak, but this team, I think, is just completely different than years prior, and I think it comes to an end. So
I think it's very telling, Ben, that win total is set significantly lower than what it's needed to get a winning record, and I think that tells us everything we need to know. Mike Tomlin, first losing season ever. I'm with you.
I'll go 7-10.
7-10 is probably I agree.
Under.
I think Mike Tomlin's not gonna. He's a good enough coach where they're not gonna go 2 and something, right? And I hope for their sake they let Kenny Pickett get a shot here, because we know we're gonna get out of Mitch. Let's give the young arm in the first round draft pick. Let's give him a damn chance. Don't understand why he's not starting right away. After what we saw with Joe Burrow in his rookie year, I don't get it. I think that's dumb. Throw him out there. It's not even like he's a young guy. He was in college forever. This dude.
100%. All right, let's hear yours.
Yeah. This might be the squarest take that I've ever said, but it's a plus 800 bet. So I don't want to hear any complaining. I think Justin Jefferson is going to lead the league in receiving yards in the NFL this year. He's the favorite to do it, which I think is extremely telling after last year. Cooper Kupp, I don't know if he broke the record or not, but this dude had damn near 2,000 yards last season. And Justin Jefferson was right there in second with, 1,600 yards, which is also incredible and higher than most years. But Cooper Kupp's not even the favorite to run it back with damn near the same team after putting up 300 yards more than anyone else last year and having one of the best seasons at wide receiver ever. I think that's extremely telling. I love the confidence from JJ saying he's going to be the best receiver in the league this season. He had literally had a quote coming out saying, yeah, I'm about to put up more than 1,600 yards and be the best receiver in the league and lead the league in yards. And I believe it. This kid's legitimate. I think Kirk Cousins has a heck of a year. I love this Vikings offense. I love that their defense stinks. So they're going to be needing to throw the ball and coming from behind. They're going to be in a ton of high-scoring games. I just absolutely love the Vikings offense this season, and JJ is going to be the guy. We've seen Thielen has slowly been regressing, the last couple of years. He's been getting hurt a lot, but him just being out there on the field is good for JJ, I think. And the fact that he's getting older and maybe he doesn't have, that elite step he used to is also good for JJ as well. He's going to be the main mouth to feed there where they don't have many options. And Kirk Cousins and him have really good rep already. The league in yards, plain and simple. Plus 800.
I like it.
Love it.
I like it a lot. I think it makes sense. I'm even seeing a 900 on the board. Cooper Kupp's going to be the guy that's going to probably be up there. And there's going to be one or two guys who kind of pop out of nowhere. But I think
in LA, man, Allen Robinson now for a full season. I think he has a great year. I think he's great for Stafford. And I think that takes some yards away from Kupp. And Kupp, what is he going to do? Put up 2,000 yards this year? He's going to be better. That was the greatest season from a wide receiver I've ever seen. I doubt he runs that back. I mean, goodness gracious, it'd be damn near impossible.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to. And I know both you and I are leaning under for him as it is.
Yeah.
So anyways, as far as the strength of these takes, we'll start with mine. What are you guys thinking? I think mine's kind of mild, to be honest.
I'd say it's probably mild. I mean, their win totals at 7.5. I think mine's probably mild as well. Yeah, I think mine's probably mild too. Two of the most mild takes we've had yet.
I know. Who are we?
Mine's got a plus 800, plus 850 there. That which is lit.
I would say I'll put yours like medium, like little under medium. Just because you have so many receivers out there,
right? Like a guy like maybe he could make a run for it. I don't hate him as a value play, but I mean, Justin Jefferson is going to prove to the league and to the world that he's the best receiver in football this season. Plain and simple.
Apparently, my fantasy league, I did my draft yesterday. Apparently, they just hate Matt Ryan and the Colts because, I mean, Jonathan Taylor, of course, went early, but like Pittman went later than he should have, in my opinion. And also Hines. Hines is a sneaky guy that if he's not picked up yet, Krabs, I don't know about Hines. Go look in your league, like with a 12-man, because I have a 14-man. So like a lot of these guys is going to be in third down situations. And also, if you look at Phillip Rivers in the past, who's similar to the passing style of Matt Ryan, like Hines will have an uptick in production based off Wentz. So it could be a sneaky little handcuff in your fantasy leagues if Hines is available.
I'm looking. Yeah, he's snatched up.
Okay.
Yep.
Guys, I just want to say too, like the Yahoo Fantasy League. So how I was telling you about how I was like really bad at fantasy football. So last year after my draft, Yahoo gives out a grade.
There's some correlation there, man.
This year, I got a D+, dead last in the league in terms of my grading after. I could not feel better about my team.
You're going to win. You'll probably win now.
Yeah.
I swear to God, Zach, ESPN does the same thing where they have a chart after the draft and it ranks 1 through 12 what they think the teams are going to end at the end of the season for the standings. And I swear to God, in my league the last 4 years, including myself, who I've won the league twice, the lower you are, the better your team is, because they only do the ranking by ADP and they don't fucking know that you're getting steals or sleeper picks. They literally just base your ranking off of the ADP, which is dumb and it's extremely misleading. I think it's a good thing that it's low. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I think you have a shot.
Good. I feel good.
Here's the way I look at it, and then we'll hop on into some Krabs versus model here. But if you pick pretty chalk, slim as well. But if you take some shots on guys where it's like, hey, you draft a guy who's going 8th round and you take him 6th with some upside, you probably give yourself a better shot to win your league. But now you also open yourself up to having like a terrible season. So I think that's always an interesting conversation to have with people. I know most people probably have already drafted, but some leagues getting last is almost like worse than a better feeling like than getting first, if that makes sense. Like I would rather just be 5th than anywhere close to last and not have a chance to win because we have some crazy punishments in our league. So
yeah, Zach, can you put up the graphic I just texted, by the way?
Yeah.
I want to go over my sleeper of the draft that everyone should target if they have a draft tonight. And Ben, you're talking about punishments. You want to hear the punishment for my league with my buddies?
Yeah,
it's pretty good. You have to play around with the boys, and we all stand around the tee box and watch them tee off, and you have to go into the clubhouse, check in women's attire. So that's gonna be fucking hilarious.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then this is my sleeper of the draft, which he's not really that much of a sleeper. Do everything they can to stop Stephon Diggs, and Gabe Davis, in my eyes, has been an overperformer, and he's going to be getting the rock more with guys like Cole Beasley not on the squad anymore. I love him and Isaiah McKenzie to have great years this year for the Bills. Studs. I'd rather have these guys in later rounds than have Stephon Diggs, in my opinion.
I like it. Yeah, value wise.
Yep.
All right, let's transition real quickly to Krabs versus computer.
Mr. Krabs, it's late. Go to bed.
All right. So we might have to bounce after this one, but we wanted to for sure talk a little NFL.
Yep.
Sunday action. I like the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins at home. I just think that, look, I don't have to be super high on Tua, but there's something about Belichick in Miami that just hasn't clicked well for him. I don't have the stat in front of me, but they haven't performed well in Miami. And I think with a guy like McDaniel, he's a good head coach. And I mean, he hasn't been a head coach before, but I like his mindset and I like the way he looks at the game. And I just think that they're going to be able to come in week 1 at home and
to prep for this game.
That's a good point. And I think in the first game against Tua, and we would have to look at historically to the other ones, but I think they played pretty well against the Dolphins. But I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I think the moves they made send them over the edge in this one, and I think they win by 4 points.
Yeah, I mean, the line's moving that way. Everyone's betting on the Dolphins. We're acting like this team is going to win the division. I want Bill. I want Mac Jones, who look great. I want Ramondre Stevenson, who's going to have a breakout year. I want a Patriots defense that's going to be really good. And I'm taking the points in a game that I think is going to be a little higher scoring than people think. I think Mac Jones is going to look great. He has some new weapons as well. Devontae Parker revenge game.
Oh,
Could be a Devontae Parker revenge game. I think he's going to have a heck of a year, honestly, and I don't like drafting Patriots receivers, but I like Bill, and I'm taking the points here. Was shocked to see more money on the Dolphins here and see them moving from -2.5 to -3.5. Really hoping this gets to 4 so I can snag 4, but I'm all over the Pats week 1. I love this play. We'll see what happens.
Zach?
We've been neck and neck, the model versus Krabs, pretty much. What do you think, Zach?
Krabs, I'm sorry. I'm with Ben here. I'm going with the Dolphins. I do
That's
agree
your team,
with the
though,
whole. Yeah, it is. But like, I also do agree with the like Belichick struggling in Miami thing, and I think that there's just that element of like, I think Miami's better this year, and I think the Patriots are probably equivalent to what they were last year, but going up against Miami, that is going to be a better team, and then just factor in that whole struggling Belichick against the Dolphins situation. I think Dolphins come away with this one.
We will see.
It's 2 at a time.
Hot out there. It's gonna be like 90 degrees. They're gonna be wearing their white jerseys. Pats are gonna have to wear their blues, darker jerseys.
Dude, it's Bill Belichick, man. It's Bill Belichick. That's all I care about. This guy's had all offseason to prep for this game, and it's the Dolphins. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Zach, when you said I'm with Ben on this one, I was like, I wish I could make like a dolphin noise. That'd have been like a perfect but I didn't want to try. But we need to get that sound effect.
Would have been a good clip.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, Krabs, I know you have to hop off. Any last words for the kids?
I'll let the people know about the trap line real quick here. Zach's not going to like it.
You can give them it.
Zach's not going to like it. Got to let the people know the trap line here. Toronto, Baltimore. I was on Toronto last night, had my heart broken, so maybe this is a spite bet. But I love the O's. Tyler Wells coming back from an injury, and they're only plus 120 against Alek Manoah. I think that's extremely trappy there for Toronto. People are going to be taking Alek Manoah at a discounted price. We've seen runs from both sides in this series. Toronto's been a little hotter, honestly, than the Orioles have been over the last week or two. And I think it's extremely sketchy that we're seeing them as this small of a favorites. And I think it's absolute bait. So you've been warned, Zach. I'm sorry, bro, but I don't like the look here for Toronto. I think they go down to the Fighting O's, who have the most heart in the league. We need to start categorizing that as a stat. They have the most heart around. And at home, they've got some magic brewing. They have all year. I think they get it done tonight. And the Orioles split the series with Toronto, and we head into the home stretch of the season with a really good battle there for the wild card. I'm super stoked. Let's go O's.
Yep, I think that's fair enough. And hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Remember that one.
Yep. Write that one down.
Yep.
Love it. Awesome. Well, Ben, Zach, I appreciate it. Some good news here with the hammer. I'm stoked. A lot of good heads on board. Chat, thanks for coming. A lot of good engagement today. Absolutely love it. Big things coming here from the boys at CHARGEIT. Ben, as always, my man, I appreciate it. I wish you all the best in your bets this weekend, except for the Dolphins. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't bet it yet, but it's probably going to be fired up pretty soon. I was seeing if that line would get the 3, but it looks like it's kind of moving the other direction. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll be seeing. We'll be seeing.
All right, boys.
Appreciate it, gents.
Yeah, see you guys.